Find out what's going on. Get involved. Change things from the inside. Make a difference. Take pride. Multicultural at its best. The Luisa Marshall Show. Coming up.
Happy Monday! We are still celebrating our 100 episodes on SMC. Let me thank you all for letting us into your homes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last week we featured 5 of the best top 10 interviews we had on the show. Take a look.
Luisa in Manila with popular Philippine artist Michael V.
Kamusta? That's how you understand Filipino language.
I'm already laughing. I can't help it, but there are 2 Simply the Best episodes for the number 9 spot.
In a career spanning 32 years, Canada's world-renowned a cappella group, the Nylons, take center stage. The popular Nylons are with me! Woo! Yeah. Guys, welcome to Vancouver. Mark, happy Zoom Day to you.
Thanks, Luisa. It's good to be here.
You're the best? The cream of the crop! Look at this! He is the best!
A group of people accuse PCCS controversial President Mars de la Cruz to have exceeded his power to make an illegal sale.
How are you able to gain back the trust of your members?
You know what? There's a saying that says, life is not waiting for the storm to pass, but life is learning how to dance in the rain.
Find out more of Riley's courageous battle to move on. Get well, help others through his faith.
One of the things that I say is you can't be bitter and get better.
Today is a continuation of the countdown. We will reveal the top 5 Simply the Best interviews. These guests really inspired me. They created an impact not only in the Filipino-Canadian community, but to the rest of the other communities who are watching. If this is the first time you're watching this show, you probably don't know how it started. Over 2 years ago, in 2009, Elena Aikenhead of Tri-Media Productions offered me this airtime on Shaw Multicultural Channel. I didn't know what to do that time. We were leaving for a tour. With Elena's persistence, I started this show mainly featuring my travels, my concerts, the band, dancers, my crew, my Tina Turner tribute shows, Filipino artists, community events, and other newsmakers. I learned a lot, but I wasn't happy. I realized I couldn't limit myself only to my own community. I started to welcome all sorts of stories from all over. When I stepped out of the box, I found myself happier, and I'm more inspired to keep going, to move forward to better programming. One of the most interesting people I met last year is this wonderful lady who turned her life around through courage and determination. and continues to help other women who are suffering the same fate she had. This girl really moved me, and I learned a lot from her. Meeting her is one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Simply the Best celebrates its second-year anniversary with a special episode, Courage to Come Back. An honest revelation of former prostitute Trisha Bapti. From drugs and violence to a life of hope. Her missing friends from downtown East Side.
So you got off the street successfully, and you've been out for how long now?
Over 10 years. My goal in life, work to changing our laws and our social policy when it comes to how we view women in prostitution. There's this argument that women choose prostitution, and I don't think that's true at all. Usually women are in prostitution because of a neglect.
Some of the missing women, did you know some of them?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And they were amazing women. They were my friends. They were mums. I know they're kids now. They were aunties and cousins and sisters and daughters, and they were women who were the most abandoned by society and ultimately neglected, as we're finding out through the missing women inquiry on every level by government.
Trisha and her group is dedicated to naming prostitution violence against women and seeks abolition through advocacy and raising awareness to end the demand for paid sexual access to women and children's bodies. It's time to end this. You can check her website at educatingvoices.ca. I met Trisha through this remarkable, outstanding man of principles. I've known this guy for many years. He's honest, he's true, he's effective, but most of all, very compassionate. One of my best interviews ever.
Wanted Dave Dixon. He used to patrol the city's most troubled neighborhood for 25 years.
Right, the government, the people in power, and ask where these kids are being placed. I mean, there has to be a better alternative, safer housing.
It's not a complaint, but my wish when that opened was that it was attached to a program, like a hospital or a treatment program, where the end goal was to get the person off of drugs, but it's not, and that's my complaint. I got hooked into the community very early in the first couple of years of joining in 1980, and that's how I sort of got hooked into the community, and I loved every minute of it. I mean, I think I got more out of the community than they ever got out of me.
People are still talking about this series up to now. I'd like to thank our friend Paul Pincott of Lake City Studio, Kanaming Pertik, for initiating the making of this episode. Thank you, Paul. I will soon join Dave Dixon in his fight against housing for teens in the downtown East Side. Please join me in fighting this political battle. The abused and neglected girls need proper housing and drug treatment services outside of the downtown East Side. We appeal to the Ministry of Children and Family Development to use other resources outside the downtown East Side. Over a year ago, I met a very inspiring person who still continues to do a lot of community work, helping new immigrants to integrate in the Canadian society. Now it's time for me to reintroduce to you one of the most respected men in our community. He is a man of his vision, a leader with common sense, and an advocate to integrating diversity. He is honest, courageous, and most of all, very charming. Here's one of my Simply the Best interviews in 2010.
A special feature, Tatay Tom Avendaño.
Well, I am really glad that you came to see, because I would like every Filipino to see the fact that we are doing something here. We are now in the process of building more projects. So, lahat na Pilipino has to be proud na at last ay nakakuha tayo ng recognition from the government of Canada.
Bayanihan is a famous Filipino word for neighborly cooperation. As one of the founding principles of the Multicultural Helping House Society, it has shaped and molded the various aspects and programs that continuously help and support new immigrants in Canada.
Its very small building is now being expanded to accommodate more services and temporary housing for those in need.
Here's a look of the new expansion of the Multicultural Helping House Society.
Ano po yung thoughts ninyo on the direction of the Filipino community towards unity?
Ang Pilipino noon, very enthusiastic naman sila to form or to build the Filipino center before. But something happens on the way. Nagkaroon ng problema ng transparency, nagkaroon ng problema ng accountability of funds, and so on and so on. So, unting-unti na naghiwalay ang mga Pilipino. I am trying na there is at least a factor that we can unite each other, like Independence Day celebration, about our cultural heritage, our cultural show, or what. As I said, huwag lang tayong magsiraan. Hindi na tayo pwede magsiraan at hindi na tayo pwedeng maghatakan. And it does not be what we call the judgmental. Pero ito ang mapapangako ko sa iyo. Hanggang nabuhay ako, I am not going to run away from this problem. Tatawag ako ng meeting kahit linggo-linggo para na mag-uusap lang kung ano ang dapat gawin natin para na ang ating community is worthwhile saying, oh, I am a Filipino.
Tatay Tom invites everybody to the open house of the Multicultural Helping House Society on Saturday, January 28th. It will be a celebration of multiculturalism under one roof. A dream come true for the MHHS. Hope to see you all. We are committed to produce meaningful shows week after week after week. We are happy that we are attracting a lot of mainstream viewership. I like that. My goal in the show is to be able to integrate myself as a Filipino Canadian to the whole multicultural community the best way I can. Everybody is welcome. One of my most memorable and enjoyable mainstream interview was the making of the new Premier of British Columbia. This lady is an inspiration to women of different colors. She's bold, she's strong, and she's determined. And yes, the biggest example of girl power.
Christy Clark was born on October 29, 1965, in Burnaby, British Columbia. She has worked as a Minister of Education, a member of the Legislative of British Columbia, and former BC Deputy Premier. In 2005, Christy decided to take a break from politics to spend more time with her family. She then took a job as a columnist at the Vancouver's Province newspaper. 2 years later, she began the Christy Clark Show on CKNW, becoming one of the most popular radio talk show in BC. Christy received a number of awards: YWCA Woman of Distinction Award, 2009 Woman of the Year in BC, to name a few. On December 8, 2010, she officially announced her candidacy for the leadership of the BC Liberal Party. If she wins, she will become the next Premier of BC.
But it's been really nice because it's the first time I've run in a campaign as an outsider, you know? And so people come up to me all the time and they say, Christy, I want to support you. I'm joining a political party for the very first time because I want to vote for you. And it's so positive, you know? It's really, really, really nice. I love thinking that I am attracting new people to politics, that we're opening up politics and government again for people.
So, okay, Christy, has the NDP ever come up with the plan if the HST goes away?
No, they have no plan. They have no idea what they would do. And they haven't even said whether or not they would get rid of the HST if they got into government, right? I mean, they just hope that they'll get elected because the government is unpopular. That's what they hope. And I mean, that's not good enough, because I think anyone who was around British Columbia in the 1990s remembers what they did to our economy, how few jobs there were. People were leaving the province instead of coming here.
So we're going to put a little bit of girl power in our campaign. Aren't we?
Maybe me and Pamela Martin. And, we are putting together a great group of women to be a part of this. I mean, I think women, we all work really hard in our lives, in our jobs, and raising our kids. And, I think it's great for young women and young men out there to see women succeed at the highest levels. It's going to change our society a little bit, I hope.
Not a little bit, a lot. What inspires you, Christy?
I think my parents, the memory of my parents. Now, my parents have both passed away, but both of my parents were very, very active volunteers, and they really cared about helping people. And, like my dad was a school teacher, and he dealt with kids every day that were growing up with abuse and all the rest of it. And he would help them find a little optimism inside themselves to graduate from high school and do better, right? I mean, and my mom worked with children in daycares and with families. They spent their lives trying to help make their communities better, and they were incredible role models for me. They were great parents. That really inspires me. I want to be a great parent to my son Hamish, and I want to be a big contributor to the community that I live in. I want to help people, and that's why I'm in politics, and that was because of the lessons that my parents taught me. Well, thank you. I am delighted to have the opportunity to talk to you and to talk to all your viewers today. It's really important. I mean, I know that you have a lot of fans out there, so it's a huge thing for me to be able to join you today. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks a lot. More power to you. More girl power.
And I hope I can come back and see you when I'm Premier.
Of course.
That was pretty awesome. Christy was the second woman to become Premier of British Columbia. Premier Christy Clark will be back on the show in February. Please don't miss it. Now it's time for my #1 most inspiring interview. This guy is the most humble and the most dedicated of all Filipinos I met in my lifetime. His passion to lift and stimulate the poor children in his town made him the greatest Filipino hero in the world.
How many members is the team has now?
Since 1997, we were able to gather like 12,000 members.
Wow.
Yes, dynamic team company, and we were able to help 1,700 kids from
That's amazing.
97 to
wow
for 13 years.
For 13 years.
Yes.
That's such an accomplishment.
We roll out every Saturday.
I like that. Roll out.
Yes, it's like Transformer.
Yeah, Transformer. We gotta
Roll out.
roll out.
Transformer, yeah.
Wow.
Cariton, roll out.
Yeah.
We start our day at 7 in the morning.
Yes.
We gather first the volunteers, some orientation, preparing some stuff, and we roll out like at 7:30 in the morning or 8 sometimes. And then from we spend 1.5 hour from at the place.
Yeah.
Then after that, we go to the next place. We have 5 different sites because actually when we pushed the cart, I mean when we first pushed the cart on the street, so people were really laughing at us. We were really ridiculed. And they would shout at us. They would say, "Stop what you're doing. You're just wasting your time."
Oh, is that what they're saying? The people on the street heckling you?
Yes, and some of those bus drivers, jeepney drivers would bus on us, and then they would shout at us.
Oh,
it
my
was really hard
goodness.
for us. We were. I mean, it's a blessing from God. I mean, we were given this great opportunity. Now, more than they see pushcart as a symbol of hope and education, as it gave us an affirmation that what we're doing for like 13 years is worth it of our time and efforts.
It is so much worth it, effort, I tell you, because the moment that still not a lot of people are aware of it, but what I'm saying is when you won and the first Filipino to win the CNN Hero of the Year, you made us proud. I mean, you made us so proud in that a guy like you can make a difference in the world.
To all the viewers of Simply the Best, yes, first, thank you for watching. And my message is just very simple. One is never too poor to think of ways to help other people, and one is never too young to give back to society. Where one is never too strong to do things on his own, and one is never too ordinary to be a hero. And who's that one? That one is you. Make a change.
Efren and his dynamic team have completed their dream of a pushcart building. Hope you enjoyed my Simply the Best interviews. Thanks to all our sponsors. You are all marvelous. Please don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Be kind. See you next Monday. Have a great week, everybody. Mwah.